Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever.
Much better.
You got us there now? Perfect.
Yep.
Now, hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Test Huddle birthday party. I'm glad you could all make it. And we've had a great year. We've had lots of new members. We've had lots of resources, webinars. We got to meet a lot of really interesting people. And we're glad we can celebrate now, 1 year down the line, and things going very well. So hopefully now next year, or this coming year, will be as successful. I'm joined here by my Test Huddle colleague Ronan, and he's going
Hello.
to talk to you a little bit about Test Huddle and just fill you in on a few stats and a few things that have been taking place. We also have Art Kramer here, who is very influential in and around the community hub at the Eurostar conferences, and he's going to talk to us as well. We're going to ask him a few questions about what you can expect really from the community hub at a Eurostar conference. And for those of you who are unaware of what the community hub is, it's our on-site representation of Test Huddle at a Eurostar conference. So now let me hand you over to Ronan here, and he's going to go through a PowerPoint presentation. So take it away there, Ronan.
Thanks very much, Daragh. Unfortunately, Daragh was going to be wished to join us today, but he couldn't make it. So I quickly threw together some slides on community because part of my role here is looking after the Eurostar community. So I thought I would give you some background on online communities, considering most of you are a member of one, and show you a bit about how communities are formed and what communities are, and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and give you. Now, can everyone see? Can you see that?
We can, Ronan, yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, it works.
In case you're wondering if Daragh and myself are in two different rooms or 100 meters apart, he's about 3 feet from me, so he's just there. There.
I can almost reach across and touch him.
Yeah. So I thought for this
It's a good test.
well, we might discuss this. It's a good test, there. Just I briefly discuss what's an online community, and then we might talk about community of testers and importance of connecting for testers, which Ard and Natalie might help us out, and then we might have our conclusions and all that. So this is sort of a presentation that I did here as part of an in-house day we had with Eurostar and Test Huddle, and I looked at communities, and what I wanted to find out is what's the difference between online and offline communities, and what do people use communities for? Like, why would people join a community like Test Huddle? What's the whole point? So to give you a difference in definition, the online community is an aggregation of individuals, business partners who interact around a shared interest or goal. And so there's basically three parts to it. It's a group of people coming together, it's happening online, and then the third aspect is either it's around an interest or it's a shared goal. Whereas an offline community, which is something like the community hub, for example, but it's a bit different. It's a group of people living in the same area or having particular characteristics in common. So, yeah, as you can see, the main difference is obviously the online offline part, and more but the interaction can be different as well in terms of you can be in an offline community but not interact with people, whereas if you're in an online community, you're always going to be interacting with people. Well, that's the idea anyway. As I said that though, but online communities are more vague to actually define. And what I've grouped together is a few definitions if you're curious about them. Millington's definition there is very useful about a specific group of people, as I said, having relationships online. And then there's different definitions there took from the English dictionary as well. So they all generally point to the same thing, which is online community, online community is a group of people coming together for a particular area, group, or interest. So why do online communities exist, or why are people interested in online communities? Um, I have a background in psychology. I studied psychology in college, so that's sort of where I draw my research on. So a lot of these papers are from psychology papers, and one of them in particular is from Crisp in 2009, and his was on his reason for why people identify with community or online communities is that identification with groups is important because, as he says there, it satisfies basic human motives of self-verification, self-evaluation, and epistemological clarity. So basically, people go to online communities to uh, or feel good about themselves, to compare themselves to others, and for learning as well. Now, learning or information is probably the main thing, but the two other parts are important because, for example, in software testers, if you're working in a company, that's maybe you might be the over only one or two testers in the team of developers. If you somewhere like a community for software testers that you can interact with other software testers, that's very important. And the same thing is got the community hub at the conference as well. It's the same sort of thing. As in terms of online community itself, you might think they're that popular, but they are the most popular activity for internet users is social interaction, which is basically online communities. And what you might find surprising, this is from research in 2007, so I'm sure it's risen as well. 91% 2007 internet users went online to keep in contact with others, and people were spending time online to socialize with each other, socialize with others. And one interesting stat I found is that 40% of people online spend more time online socializing with people than they do face to face, which I'm sure you won't find that surprising. I don't find that surprising. And one important thing to understand is that online communities are not social networks. So online communities are grouped together by common interests, i.e. software testing, and not by pre-established interpersonal relationships, which is basically what all social networks are. So when you set up your social network, your Facebook, your Twitter, you're asked to search your email or whatever for your contacts. So it's a pre-established network. Whereas online communities like TEST Huddle, you're coming in, you might know anyone in the community, you're introducing yourself, and that's you're building up relationships in the community. Um, and one of the important aspects is that is information. So a lot of people join online communities for information, and then they generally stay for the connections they make with each other. Um, so as I said, I have a background in psychology, so I think this is my final slide. I wanted to give you an idea of what the theory is behind online communities. So why um, people might join online communities and what's the reasons for it, what psychology has identified as the reasons for it. So Bandura in 77, he had this social learning theory. You might have heard of Albert Bandura, he's a famous psychologist. And he said that people join our social learning theory is his theory of that people learn behavior by observing others and copying their behavior. So this has been applied to online communities as well, and that people join communities to see others joining communities, they want to join them, and as well as that the interactions in the community are the same thing. So they copy each other's behavior inside the community as well. And then there's the social identification theory, and this is from 1986. And then this is a theory sort of has been applied to online communities as well. It's basically sort of the in-group, out-group theory that when you start to become part of an online community, there's a internalizing core principles and norms, including offering help. So that, for example, if you're become a member of TEST Huddle and you get involved, you identify with the group, the norms of the TEST Huddle community. So TEST Huddle, I would say, is people in it are very helpful. They're always eager to answer each other's questions and things like that. So eventually you decide to offer your help. So that's the core principle of TEST Huddle, and that's something that people might start to do once become a established part of the community. And that sort of goes back to social identity theory. And finally, the probably one that's most commonly used and applied to online communities is social proof. And social proof is that people believe performing an action is valuable when they believe others are performing the action. So if you have friends or you hear of people joining an online community, well then you're going to join it too, because you hear those people are joining that community, and there must be a reason why they're joining it, so you'll join it too. So basically, it's a sort of if they're doing it, I want to do a concept. I think that's the end of my slides, unfortunately. I just want to give a brief interview idea of what we're doing with Tesla. Asked about it before about them. I thought I'd share some of that today because it's our first birthday, and I thought it would be very appropriate. So back to you, Daragh.
Hi, thanks very much, Ronan, and I hope you're all enjoying the Test Huddle birthday so far, and you've got involved in the various discussions and played some of the games that are there. And we also have later on today we're going to have another hangout too, where we're going to be going through our community awards, and that'll be fun. We've different awards for different members, best comments, best thread of the year. Yeah.
Most attendees at a webinar, so that's going to be a black tie event. It's happening at 7 o'clock tonight. So wear your tuxedos if you're attending.
Uh, but while we have Ard here as well, we thought maybe we might ask him and talk to him a little bit about the community hub. And Ard, maybe you might tell us a little bit about what people can expect from the community hub and the sort of things that took place last year in Dublin. How did it go? How did you find everything?
First of all, it's fun. But first of all, I want to thank Rowan for his explanation how online and offline communities work. I think they go together. You can't see offline and online. You can't see them separately. You have to see them both. I think offline has more value than online communities. Online, like Rowan was presenting, it's coming up, but you can't live with real social interaction, and that's what the community hub is about. You have to have social interaction, and in the community hub, and first of all, mostly for the people who are going for the first time going to Eurostar, it's a great place to go there to meet new people. Last year in Dublin, I had a great I met new friends, new people from the community, even. Also, they were coming from Holland. I didn't knew them, but it was great to talk with them, and I learned a lot of new things. So that's the great thing about a community hub. You can stay there. It's going to be a touchdown place. That's the main function. There's going to be a lot of activities hanging around, like soapbox sessions, things like that. You can draw something on a wall. You can sit there. You can eat there. You can talk to other testers. Just like it's a touchdown place, and it's very important to make a complete community, offline and online community.
Yes, for us it's great really because we're so used to working on Test Huddle that we don't get to see people on a day-to-day basis in person. So it's nice to go to the conference and see people. I speak with Ard regularly, but I get to speak to him in person maybe once a year at the conference. So that's great, and you can do so too. Ard, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the Community Hub itself? This is only a new concept, the Community Hub. It's only been around for a few years now. So.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not aware of it, to be honest, because I started it was 2008. The first time I went to Eurostar was in The Hague in Holland, and I was walking around there, really walking around, didn't know much people. My company was over there having a stand. But in 2009 was my first opportunity to have a presentation at Eurostar, and then you start meeting people. And when you start meeting people, you socialize, and you talk about a lot of things. And that was my starting point. And like you were saying, the community hub only exists for a few years, but then when you know people, you get acquainted, you socialize, and now, like you say, the community hub helps you, giving yourself a touchdown place. I like it very much because when I'm walking around at the conference, I need a place where I want to go to, and the community hub is a place to go to. There you meet people that we socialize, and it's always great. It has much more value to me when I meet people one-to-one personally. It has much more value than an online community. Like you were saying, it's great to have a hangout now, because now you see each other, now you can talk to each other. It's much more than writing things down on a computer. So I like that very much. But the summon, the top is being there, seeing each other, meeting each other, talking to each other, touching each other. Like that's the interaction you want to have with other people, and that's the community hub is about. So it's a great thing to be there, to have some place. Like you have stands from companies. It's also great to have a look over there, of course. But it's not really a touchdown place. That's what you need. First when you are there for the first time, go there, talk to people, and if you don't talk to people, they will talk to you, and then everything starts, and you want to come back every year.
Aaron, I want to ask you a question. Like, obviously, I was talking about online communities, and I was wondering, say before there was online testing communities, how did you interact with other testers? I'm not sure, do you work in a company with a lot of testers? I'm just thinking of people that worked in companies, say, with a few other testers. Was it mainly conferences you would mesh up before sort of online communities became more popular, or how would it worked?
I didn't get the question completely because there was kind of a bit of interference in it. But do I understand, Rowan, that you want to know how I meet my fellow testers?
That's right, and in particular, talking about before online communities. So, how would you have met fellow testers? How would you have shared knowledge? Would it been just been mainly conferences? Would that been the only way, or
No.
would it been other ways?
The great fun I had was, I think, on a conference. I think it was in Sweden already, and Twitter was just booming. And I met somebody and I said, I know you from Twitter, because we already had some discussion on Twitter. And finally you meet somebody, and then you can have a broader discussion, a better discussion. You can go more deep in the discussion, because that's what I still think about online communities. It's good to have discussions, but they can't go as far as you want to. You have to meet one-on-one to have a really good broad discussion. So you have to have both to make a discussion complete. You have to have both, and that's also what I do with my fellow testers at Eclipse IT. Is we speak each other on WhatsApp or in other communities. What I like the most is doing presentations face to face.
Yeah,
that's really adding value. That's making the picture complete.
Yeah, yeah, because last year was my first time at Eurostar. I'm only with TEST Huddle for less than a year, and I just found that their testers, like a lot of them had relationships with other people from just attending conferences like that and things like that. They wouldn't see each other for a whole year, and I just found it fascinating as well that if you've an area or you work in an area like software testing, it seems to me like some testers might work freelance, or they work in a large group of developers and might work on their own, so that they don't get the opportunity to chat and share knowledge with other testers as often as some other people testers do if they're working in a large company. So that's what I was just curious about. Like, it's obviously things like that are very, very important to them.
Meeting other people, and it doesn't only meet testers from Eclipse IT, but also other testers. Like in Holland, we have testnet at least 2 times a year in the conferences. And to be honest, for me, it's a kind of reunion. I like to be a tester, so I want to meet other testers to have interaction. And we talk about a lot of things, not only testing, I can say that.
I can imagine, yeah.
Art, I had another question there as well. We have a lot of different types of testing resources here, and some people like to attend webinars only. Others prefer just reading ebooks or maybe just getting involved in a thread. Do you find there's one particular mode of communication better than another, or one particular mode of learning better, or do you like to engage in all of them?
Of course, it depends on how you want to learn things. That is what it depends. Somebody needs a book. Somebody other needs a discussion. Some other people want to write things down in a blog. All kinds. Everybody has his own style. You got different styles. Everybody got his own style. But it's my opinion that the best way to interact is personally. We are animals, used to living in a group, interact in a group. So that is what we do. Be more like an animal, interact in a group, in a community. And the online community is okay. You can share thoughts, you can share discussions, but you miss the non-verbal communication. That makes it complete. You can't have it all in an online community.
If anyone else wants to kind of come in and join in the conversation too, there's a little option there to click and join the discussion, because we'd love to hear your views on community, and if you have any questions you want to ask about the community hub or TEST Huddle, please feel free to join us. And this year as well, our conference is in Holland, so you might have a little inside tips or tricks for us to look into, Ard, do you?
Yes, because
Maastricht.
Yeah, because Maastricht. Maastricht.
Maastricht. I'll have to learn that now in the next few months, how to pronounce it properly.
It's gonna be a hard one, but it's a special place in Holland. It's in the southeast, really in the southeast, close to Belgium and Germany. The thing I like, because I'm living in the western part of Holland, I have to go there and take a hotel, and I like that very much. When it was in Amsterdam a few years ago, it's very close by, so I could go home if I wanted. And I don't want to go home when I'm a Eurostar. I want to be there. I want to stay there. I want to be in a hotel so I can come in late. So that's a great thing about Maastricht. A lot of Dutch testers have to go there, have to take a hotel, because it's about 2-3 hours drive to go there from where I live. So it's a very nice place. It's not as flat as the rest of Holland. It has some hills. Not very high, but it has some hills, so it's not typical Dutch landscape, and it's a good place for wine, for beer, for food. So you have everything you desire is over there.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. It's a great place to be. What I like most, because I like books a lot, they even have a bookshop in a church, and I'm gonna visit that definitely. A bookshop in a church. Yeah, you have to go there when you're there.
Yeah. Must be have very high shelves, do they?
It has, and when you're on the top of the shelves, you have a great view over the church.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
Yeah, I think we're going over for a site visit now in a couple of weeks, so we'll try and learn as much information we can about Maastricht. Am I saying that correctly? Is it better?
Yeah, almost.
Almost. I learn as much as I can about Maastricht, and I'll be able to come back and tell you guys a lot more about what you can expect if you go to the conference. And you're probably already aware, but we'll be announcing our program tomorrow.
Yes.
So you'll find out all about all the amazing keynotes and half-day tutorials, full-day tutorials, and track sessions and things. So that's well worth finding out and tuning in to see what we have. I'm really excited to share it with you guys, but you just have to wait a few more hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we have the black tie tonight.
Oh yes.
That's right. We'll have our black tie event later on. Will you be tuning in for the community awards later, Art? Will you be available?
Yes, I'm nominated.
Oh yes.
From Roden, I'm nominated, so I'm very curious what's going to happen tonight.
Great. I hope the rest of you guys can come too. So yeah, it's been an interesting year. TEST Huddle. We started with just a handful of members now, and It's great to see so many of you guys returning every day to
How many
chat.
members do you have, Darren?
We've over 2,000 now.
Oh, great.
Two and a half,
Two and a
two and
half
a half to
thousand.
three.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'll be going through some stats tonight at the awards, just as a way of introduction. Just all the stats from the community for over the last year. So how many posts we've had, how many event notices we've had, how many threads we've had, how many members we have. So we'll get to see all that tonight. So we've had a lot of interaction in the past year. So it's been going very well.
Yeah, one thing we did have as well that unfortunately you guys didn't get was part of the TEST Huddle birthday cake. That was we had in the office here.
That was
really
a
good.
hard one today. I saw it and I couldn't reach it. How can
So
you do that?
we had to taste it for the rest of you guys, and
Yeah,
it was
great.
pretty good.
Thanks. Rub it in.
We might post you a slice, Daragh.
Do it, please. Gonna buy old meal.
Yeah. Should get there soon.
Yeah.
So do you attend many local meetups around the Netherlands?
Yes, like I was telling you in TestNet, we have in the Netherlands at least 2 times a year we have a conference, and every month you have the opportunity for a specific subject. Gonna be the next one. It's gonna be about agile, I think, agile practices. So it's always great to go there. I like the conferences a lot because it's like kind of a reunion, just as Eurostar. And besides that, I'm also going to the Belgium testing days in Brussels. It's also great. It's a great conference. And of course, I have only my Eclipse IT meetings where we meet up. Mostly we do some practicing and also on presentations and things like that. It's always to meet your colleagues. It's always great. So keeps me going. Besides the online communities, of course, so it keeps me going. And I'm going to Let's Test this year for the first time, so I'm gonna like that very much. A lot of things to do this year. It's gonna be a best time.
Did you get a chance to see our community video we released there last week?
Oh yes, about the Fool's Day, around Fool's Day, things like that. Yeah. I like your mustache.
Yeah, no, that wasn't us. There was 3 other guys who used to work here.
Yeah. Keep on, yeah. Not really convincing though.
we thought we were completely in disguise, but I guess not.
Yeah, you were completely. At first, I thought maybe it was rude. I saw on the picture, but then I looked closer and that couldn't be rude. So I thought it was program committee at first. So, but
yeah, that was a lot of fun creating that. We got a lot of strange looks around the hotel, but there's a few disappointed people as well when they discovered that we didn't actually have the program we claimed to have. But
I almost went for that too. I thought maybe if they have the program, let's give it a closer look so I can see if maybe I'm on. But I couldn't have a closer look.
Yeah, not long now till we get to release that.
Yeah, it's going to be tomorrow. Probably most people who have written their abstracts will know by now if they're in or not. So that's going to be exciting for the other people to see what's on.
And what sort of talks and topics and that would you be interested in hearing at a Eurostar conference? I know last year we were looking at newer areas like the Internet of Things became a very hot topic. Mobile is always very, very popular at security. Is there anything else there that you feel is, coming up in testing is going to be something to watch out for in 2015 into 2016?
Yeah, that's always a hard question because I believe, and I don't mean it negative, but we are followers. We follow new things like Internet of Things. Last year, that was a great presentation. I'm still thinking. I've been on that ferry to the Isle of Wight, and I know I saw it right in front of me what was happening. So that was really great. So what you have to keep on doing is keep on promoting new developments so that we can see what we have to follow and what we have to be ready for and how we can test it. So that's what I expect. Experience talks about new things, but also experience talks about usual things, because the usual things is sometimes hard enough. At the moment, I'm in Amsterdam at my assignment, and I have a lot of challenges which I have to face, and I want to see if other people have the same challenges and how they face it, how they have solutions for their challenges. So that's going to be that's what I find very interesting. So it has to be a balance between new things and things we are doing at this moment. So it has to be challenging and experience talks.
Great, great. For those of you who aren't aware, there we referring to a keynote that Professor Andy Stanford Clark did last year called The Internet of Things, and I think we have a recording of that we must release to you guys, and you can catch up on. It was really interesting, and I know we have a few more very interesting keynotes coming up, so you'll find out about that a little later. Any other questions for Ard while we're here?
I was going to ask you a question, Ard, about difference between, I know I'll come back to this online and offline, but when you're at a conference, say comparison to interacting in an online community, would you find that you discuss different things or the interaction is different? Like you're talking about you much prefer talking person to person than talking in the online community. Would you find like it can be more spontaneous and you can learn stuff more from talking to someone at a conference, whereas if you're talking to someone online, it'd be more about a certain subject area and that should be it, and you stay in that topic and sort of not change topics or anything like that. Would you find that?
Yeah, it has more value. Like I was said before, it's great fun to meet, for example, somebody you Twitter with. You have to exchange tweets. Then you have a starting point to start a discussion, and that's what I like the most. It's also about non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication has to be one-on-one, and that's adding more value than doing it online. So that's what I like the most. And you have more time to talk around it.
Yeah.
Talk about
apparently,
sports or things like that.
Yeah. Apparently, non-verbal is about 70% of communication. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely makes a difference, I think.
Yeah, it's a good combination. I like online communities because I know that's going to be an offline community too when we meet each other at Maastricht. We know that you exchange, and that's a great thing because I'm going to meet you guys in Maastricht. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Yeah.
We're gonna meet each other in Maastricht, and that's something you can look forward to, and that's what I like the most.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up there now. I just wanted to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank Ronan for his presentation, kind of filling you in on where we are with the community, and I look forward to building on that. And thank you very much, Ard, for taking the time out to come in and talk to us a little bit about testing and the Community Hub.
You're welcome.
And we hope you all can join us a little later on at 7 o'clock. Is that right, Ronan? 3 hours from now?
Yep.
And we can go through our community awards, and that'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you tune back in, and we'll see you all there.
Yeah, gonna be there.
Take care.
See you.
Me and Daragh are going to get our hair done. See you soon.
Go collect our suits, our tuxes.
See you.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.